Hi, welcome to the Leadership with Sonia podcast. Everything leadership, life and learning, plus outstanding interviews with great leaders and humans across the globe. Let's get listening and learning.
Hello everybody, it's Sonia McDonald and I'm the CEO of Leadership HQ and the recently launched platform called the Leadership Collective. You must check it out. It is amazing, but I'll explore a little bit about that later on. Today I wanted to talk about some of the biggest mistakes leaders make, and it's probably you. And I'm not saying I'm perfect either. I have definitely made my fair share of mistakes over the years, particularly early in my career where I was promoted into leadership roles and I thought I knew how to lead and I didn't know how to lead. And I think even during this space, right, I have been living and breathing the leadership space now for gosh, over 17 years. And I'm going to share what I think is the biggest mistake, but there's lots of others as well. And I want you to think about, if you make any of these mistakes, choose one and work on it. Just work on baby steps, like one thing maybe per month. And think about, again, how can you build habits? How can you build this skill? The number one thing that I think leaders make in terms of the biggest mistake is communication. Absolutely, communication is the biggest mistake. Funnily enough, when we do any kind of diagnostic or we do any kind of leadership development, we get feedback from others around what are some of the gaps in the culture here, or what some of the gaps in this leader. Always, without a doubt, it's communication. So what are some of the things that leaders do wrong here? So some of the things that they do wrong, absolutely, that they do wrong here are things like lack of clarity. So I think that is a big one in terms of they assume the message is clear. We all assume we have the same brain going down, that we're hearing the same things. But lack of clarity can really confuse team members. That's why it's really important to ask for feedback or go, okay, what did I just say? Does that make sense? The next one is poor decision making. Leaders fail when they fail to communicate effectively. They might make decisions without seeking input from various stakeholders. And I think it's really important that you don't know all the answers and to check in with people to get, again, their insights and thoughts and perspectives. This is why it's really important that you're connecting and collaborating, because you need to think about what's the best decision here. And sometimes you don't know. Okay, so it's okay for a leader to go, I might not need to ask some other people what they think. Next is low morale and engagement. Okay, so we crave transparency. If we don't have transparency, the brain can ruminate. It can kind of make up stories. You can start to get these Chinese whispers happening. I think it's when we're not communicating open and honestly, and also going, hey, I don't know what's going on, or let me seek, the information. Or I think it's really important that, you need to show confidence and trust, and transparency is key to this as well. Because if you're not transparent, then you will have low morale and low engagement as well. I also think the other thing as well that really impacts leaders around this communication space is missed opportunities for innovation. So, effective communication fosters collaboration and idea sharing. So, when you are open and approachable and go share ideas with me, share if we can creativity, if we think we can do anything different, I think that makes a huge difference. I also see in terms of, and it's something I teach all the time, is courageous conversations, is increased conflict. When there's miscommunication or a lack of clarity or communication, it can cause conflict. And these things can also escalate, cause negativity with team dynamics. So it's really important that you understand how to have open dialogue and also have, the ability to have courageous conversations as well. Also, failure to align goals. So, effective communication ensures that team members understand their roles and responsibilities and also the organization's goals. Okay. So, these are the things that I have covered. So, around communication, lack of clarity, poor decision making, low morale and engagement, missed opportunities for innovation, increased conflict, and failure to align goals. So, how can you overcome some of these things? I'm going to share some more mistakes that leaders make as well. And I want you to think about, is this you? As things like sharing regular updates and information and feedback with team members, actively listening with team members. Listening is a superpower. So, make sure you're listening. Providing clear direction, expectations, and goals to team members, encouraging open dialogue, creating a culture of transparency and trust with teams, seeking input from relevant stakeholders before making decisions, using multiple communication channels to convey messages effectively, addressing conflicts and misunderstandings constructively and also promptly. That's really important. Hence, that's why I love teaching people around how to have these conversations promptly and effectively, and conducting regular one on ones. This is so important. Please conduct regular one on ones. Please, please, please. It's really important. Even if it's once a month, please do it. Okay, some other things that I think are really important that other leaders make. But before I do that, I want to talk about the Leadership Collective. It is amazing and it starts from only $18 a month. You will get free resources, you will get global networking, you will get a community. Oh my gosh, there's so much more to this, right? The Leadership Collective also has events, programs, the Leadership Awards. You can get certified as a leader. We've got that culture certification. It is amazing. So check it out. You'll see the link as part of this live. Some other mistakes we see leaders make, because this is why we're starting the collective, because we want to help leaders and anyone that wants to learn leadership really embrace their inner greatness, is lack of clear vision. I think that's really important. So we know where we're heading, because it's like playing golf and not knowing where the 18th hole is. Like, it just confuses people. Micromanaging. Now, I've put up a poll recently about this, and everyone is saying that, I'm going, what's the worst type of leader? The one that's self absorbed, the one that's absent, the one that is too hands on, the one that is like, what were the other ones? Authoritarian. Like, the number one worst leader is the one that micromanages. It's coming up by far. Anyway, no one loves to be micromanaged, because even from a neuroscience perspective, the brain feels like you're walking down a dark alley and someone's following you. And no one wants that, right? Not providing enough feedback. So it's really important that you're giving feedback, but also receiving it. So giving and receiving feedback. Like, hey, give me some feedback. I think that's really important. Ignoring team dynamics and group culture. I think that you're only as good as your team. I'm a big one around team alignment sessions. We run them all the time. They are so powerful. Doing strengths finder with teams, doing team building, doing strategy work with teams. It's so important to do that. Sporting teams do it. They spend more time off the field planning and strategizing than they do on the field playing. Okay. Failure to adapt to change. My gosh, like, being agile and adaptive is like so key. Ever since COVID, I think the changes change. The world's changing so much more constantly. It's like doing my head in. It's like so much change. We've got to be like, let's embrace this. Let's just move with it. Let's just roll with it, because it also you can miss opportunities as well. Inadequate recognition and reward. So making sure that you're actually thinking about, how are you recognizing and rewarding your people, saying thank you, recognizing success, celebrating it. Again, so many leaders I work with, and it's a mistake, they just don't do it. Poor decision making. Again, they're not making enough the right decisions or effective decisions, because they're not getting enough data. They're not connecting and getting enough input from others. Lack of empathy. Please learn EQ. You can learn it. Compassionate empathy. Empathy is the new leadership style. So please learn it. Have your courageous conversations. That's another one. Make sure you invest in team and leadership development for yourself and for your team. It is easy, and there's so much stuff that you can do for free. Sign up to the Leadership Collective. It is so cost effective, and there's so much great content there. Unrealistic, setting unrealistic expectations as well. So I think it's really important that you think about your goals, and are you having unrealistic expectations? Are your people having burnout or stress? Inconsistency. will just frustrate employees in your team. So make sure you reflect each day and think about your behaviors and your actions. Again, ask for feedback. Ignoring work-life balance. Now, this starts with you. You need to lead by example here. So are you taking care of yourself? Are you making sure that you're putting the rocks into your time, prioritizing things that are really important to you? That work-life balance is really important, and recognizing that you're creating that and really harvesting that in your team and your people as well. Also, leading by example. So making sure that your values align, you know your values, you have that integrity. Don't do one thing, or don't say one thing and do another, right? So integrity is like the center pole of leadership, integrity and honesty. And finally, overlooking D and I. Like, really think about prioritizing diversity inclusion, right? I think it's really important because we could be alienating great talent. So there's a couple of things there. Think about, are there anything that you are making mistakes there around communication, right? Not having a clear vision, micromanaging, not providing enough feedback, ignoring team dynamics and culture, not doing enough team development, team building, failure to adapt to change, not being agile enough, inadequate reward and recognition, how you're motivating and inspiring others, poor decision making, lack of empathy, compassion, EQ. All these things that we can help with at Leadership HQ and as via the Leadership Collective. So make sure you reach out to my team and check it out, the Leadership Collective. Avoiding difficult conversations. We can teach you skills in this. Watch out, there's a masterclass around how to do courageous conversations in the Leadership Collective. Unrealistic expectations, inconsistency, ignoring work-life balance, failure to lead by example. My gosh, there's so much here. Ignoring D&I, diversity inclusion. Are you making any of these mistakes? If you are, choose one. If there is only one, think about how can you sharpen your saw there. If you would love anything that we can help you with to help you with any of these mistakes or to build any new skills and habits, please, please, please. We love helping people. We love helping leaders and teams with their leadership to build their inner greatness and skills in this space. I promise you, if I had a time machine, if I had to share something with my younger self, I would say to her, please learn this stuff now. It will make the biggest difference in your career and life. So please reach out. Don't forget to check out the Leadership Collective. It is amazing. Contact the team at Leadership HQ if we can help in any way. So go to theleadershiPcollective.com.au or leadershiphq.com.au. Reach out to me here, post a tag or a comment. We are always here to help you. And remember, leadership is an attitude, and always stay kind and courageous. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.
Thanks so much for listening to the podcast Leadership with Sonia. Find out more about Sonia, her work, and more podcasts at soniamcdonald.com.au and reach out to her and her fabulous team to learn more.